Hey guys, Simon here. Today I'll be telling you my 5 tips on how to start a group on Roblox. Before we get into the video, I'd just like to ask you guys if you guys could subscribe and then hit that notification bell so you guys get updated whenever I release more content. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the video. So for tip number 1, which you'll really want to start off with when you're trying to start a group, the first thing you'll want to do is really think about exactly what you're making as a group. All right, so you really want to think about that basic idea, what your group is going to be. So for example, when I made TCAFR, my thought process was I took the clone troopers and I took a military group and put that together. So that's how you can do whatever you want, but you really just got to figure out what exactly your basic idea is for your group to get that basic guideline as to how you're going to develop your group. Another thing you'll want to think about is what exactly is your group's goal. You want something to work towards, whether it's maybe 10,000 players, or your group's goal could be also to create a community where people can meet new people, stuff like that, right? It could also be to make, like, for example, clothing for people who don't have as many Robux or something like that, cheaper clothing, stuff like that, right? It can be whatever you want, just you have to have a goal. And after that, really, once you got those 2 things, you also want to think about the important questions here. You want to ask yourself these is, are you willing to invest the time? And are you willing to invest the funds into making that group? Because running a group is very time consuming. You need a lot of time, and also to invest the funds, because running a group is not cheap. Let me tell you, I probably spend about $20 on just getting the groups itself up. Anyways, that's it for tip number 1. Alright guys, so your second tip for starting a group on Roblox will really be to plan it out. So plan out, if you're making a group game, how are you going to do that, how that's going to look, what you're going to have in it, all that kind of stuff, how you're going to get players to join your group. Why would players pick your group over the hundreds or I don't know what other groups similar to yours? Also, planning out how you're going to make funds. Whether are you going to sell game passes, developer products for your game? Are you going to sell clothing? Are you a game development group that sells your services to other groups or other people? How you're going to market your group? So your marketing. So are you going to pump out ads? Are you going to go use GRP or group recruiting plaza to get more players? Are you going to use social media like Twitter and stuff like that? How are you going to market your group and your product and all that? That's tip number 2. So my third tip for starting a group on Roblox is to learn game development skills, or any skills that will help you develop your product in your group. So whether that's, as I said, game development skills, such as scripting, building, graphics, you name it, anything that will help develop your game, or even your service, if that's your service is making games and things along those lines for other groups or people. Also developing other skills related to all that, such as marketing skills or finance skills, things like that, like how to make, if it's making your product itself, like making clothing on Roblox. That's about it for tip number 3. It's really just to develop skills that will let you develop your product or group or game or whatever for your group. So your 4th tip for starting a group on Roblox, something I find very important and a lot of people don't do this, and it's really to network. And by network I mean go out there, meet some new people on Roblox. You can go on games, just talk to some people, meet some people, make some friends, have them join your group, right? You find someone and you make a friend, all right? And then you don't just network with them, but in a sense you also network with the people they're networked with, right? It's like a chain reaction. And also another thing is, a great way to network is to actually join groups similar to yours, and that way at the same time you gain that experience of how other people run their groups and kind of apply what they do well into your group, but you also get to meet people who are interested in that genre, and that really lets you have a lot of a better time recruiting those people into your group. With all that said, that's my tip number 4, is really to network and try to make some friends and get them to join. So my fifth and final tip for starting your group on Roblox is really to have your game or content, whatever, your clothing, I don't know, product, service, whatever it is, ready on launch. When you're launching your group, you want to have that stuff ready, just because if that's not there, then what's the point of having your group up, right? And it also lets you kind of prioritize time and funds onto dealing with those things without too many distractions. I find that I started a little too prematurely, and I wish I would have known this when I started my group. And it's that the pressure really builds on when you're working on a game and you've already started the group and everyone's like, oh, when is it going to be ready? When is it going to be ready? And that just creates a lot of pressure and stress. And if you really want your group to kind of flourish and people will kind of be like, dang, like you want them to join right away and stuff like that, well, they probably won't join right away, but at least, you know, your content's going to be out, right? So you have that ready. Then what's next is pretty much you can focus on really bringing people in, or, you know, just improving other things, right? But yeah, you really want to have that content ready on launch. That's my fifth tip, guys, is really have your content ready, what you're offering on launch. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. Leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and please, if you have any questions in the comments, I will do my best to try and answer them. Any criticism. Without further ado, I'll be heading out. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.